You'll be shocked when you see real footage of wild monkeys attacking a person. This is no joke. Today, I'm going to show you 10 terrifying videos of wild animals attacking people during safaris. I'll also explain why this happens so often. And at the end of the video, you'll see perhaps the most unusual animal of them all. Enjoy watching. Rhinos. What dangerous animals do you know of that everyone considers cute? Personally, I always hear people say that rhinos are cute and gentle animals, and that would be really cool if it weren't a lie. The thing is, these animals can indeed be calm and kind, but they are extremely skittish, and it's all because of their terrible vision. Rhinos have really poor eyesight, a couple of meters, that's their whole range of vision, and if there's a person standing just 5 meters away, they won't even realize it. They'll get scared and charge to destroy their opponent. Now, what if the rhino is also angry? Well, then you're done for. Here's an example of one such seemingly cute animal that simply hates cars. This rhino destroys every vehicle that approaches him in the safari park, and I want to highlight how easily he does it. Just one shove, and that's it. The car is flipped on its roof. So, I would definitely avoid these huge and seemingly cute animals if I ever encountered them in the wild. Attack during a hike. Next, I want to show you some amazing footage of a climber fending off an attack by a wild bear. And what's even more incredible is that it all happens right in the mountains. How is that even possible? Well, bears can do more than just walk on the ground. They're also very good at climbing trees and even cliffs. So don't think you can avoid an attack by this wild animal if you hide somewhere high up. The climber also thought he was safe, but it turned out his path was near the den of a huge female bear, where her cubs were probably nearby. Why do I think that? Because these giant predators usually don't attack people for no reason. They don't even eat us. More likely, they're just trying to protect themselves from humans, guarding their offspring or territory. So this climber was just scaling some cliffs when a huge, enraged bear rushed at him. What do you do in such a situation? Personally, I have no idea, but it seems this guy was prepared for anything. He started yelling loudly at the animal and even kicked it to push it off the cliff. And I have to say, he did a great job of saving his life. The thing is, the bear got scared by the man's screams and simply decided to run away. Yes, bears aren't actually that brave. So here's a tip for you. If you want to avoid a bear attack, stay far away from them. And if it does happen, try yelling at it as loudly as possible and make yourself look big. You can do this by spreading your arms wide and standing on your toes. Maybe that'll save your life. Not only predators can be dangerous, but don't think that only predators are dangerous to humans. Almost any animal, even a herbivore, can easily kill you. Take elephants, for example. Very big and cute animals. They're pretty kind and almost never attack people, except for this case from India. In this country, as you may know, there are a lot of elephants, and they're often used to transport tourists. A kind of attraction. However, few people know about the conditions they live in. This man, the caretaker and trainer, treated this huge animal very poorly. The elephant was regularly beaten, starved, and abused. Naturally, it's impossible to endure such treatment for a lifetime, so he decided to take desperate action, revenge on the man. The massive creature easily crushed this man to death. It took just 30 seconds, and the man was dead. That's how dangerous even seemingly peaceful animals can be. Now imagine if this happened in the wild. What would happen if you approached a wild elephant? The same thing, only even scarier. Wild animals are much more likely to aggressively defend their territory. In short, I wouldn't recommend getting close to elephants, even though they seem so cute. Terrifying crocodiles. Unfortunately, there are many dangerous professions in our world, and a lot of them are dangerous just because people love to watch something scary. What am I talking about? All those acts with dangerous predators. They're usually shown in circuses or other shows, and the animals can be very different, but I've personally never understood those shows where people interact with crocodiles. They're just giant lizards with who knows what going on in their heads, and yet people stick their hands in their mouths. In this video, a brave guy was performing his usual act for the spectators. The point of the act was to stick his head into the mouth of a huge predator that could swallow a whole calf in a second. Honestly, I don't know how people agree to such jobs. I wouldn't do it even for a couple of $1 million. Why? Just take a look at this footage. In it, the guy is doing everything as usual, but the reptile thought otherwise and decided to bite its trainer. And what do you think happened? Did the guy die? Fortunately, no. The crocodile just snapped its jaws shut, likely tearing up this poor guy pretty badly. Then it let go of him. I think the credit goes to the second guy who was holding the crocodile by the tail. In the end, this trainer got away with only minor injuries, though he could have lost his head. And just think about all the stories of crocodiles attacking people in the wild. A couple of minutes and that's it. No more person on Earth. A well-known case from the UK. As someone who has been interested in wildlife and the issues surrounding the captivity of animals for a long time, I want to share my perspective on a topic that worries me more each year. Keeping wild animals in cages is not only inhumane, but also extremely dangerous for the people who work with them. Frequent attacks on zoo and circus workers demonstrate that even with careful care and professionalism, predators can exhibit aggression. And there are good reasons why this happens. Take tigers, for example. These are wild animals that are adapted to vast territories and are constantly active in seeking food, guarding their territory, and exploring their environment. In the wild, the area needed by a single tiger to live normally can range from 20 to 100 square kilometers, depending on the availability of prey. Compare this to the small cage or enclosure these animals are kept in at zoos and circuses. It's a tiny space that absolutely doesn't meet their natural needs. That's why I wasn't at all surprised by the dramatic story that took place in the UK. What am I talking about? In 2017, a zookeeper was killed by a tiger, and this incident was truly horrifying. You might say she was at fault, that she made a mistake at work and paid the price. But no. At the time, the woman entered the enclosure to clean. The animals had been taken out, but one of the tigers managed to run back in. It was this tiger that attacked the woman, and for 15 minutes, the predator mauled its victim. Naturally, other workers tried to drive the animal away, but nothing helped. In the end, the woman died from her injuries. A horrifying story. But why did this happen? Why are such stories appearing more and more in the press? One of the key reasons for these attacks is the basic lack of space and activities. In the wild, tigers show aggression within the context of their social hierarchy, defending their territory or prey. In a cage, a tiger is deprived of the ability to follow its natural behavior. When a tiger is confined to a small area and has no outlet for its energy, any attempt by a human to interact with it may be perceived as an invasion or threat. So now think about whether it's worth keeping such animals in cages. Hippos. And since we're talking about cute but very dangerous creatures, I can't leave out another giant from Africa, and that's the hippo. In reality, they are indeed very beautiful and cute. I can't stop admiring photos and videos of these cuties when they're still small. But when they grow up, they become quite formidable creatures. Their mouths are so big that a whole watermelon can easily fit inside, or even several, but that's not the scariest part. The fact is, hippos are real bullies. They literally intimidate everything in their path in the wild. Neither lions, tigers, nor even crocodiles can stand up to them. These giant tanks don't care who they're fighting. Just take a look at this footage of a hippo attacking a car full of people. It charges at high speed, and it doesn't matter to it that there's a large hunk of metal in front of it. It could easily smash through it if necessary. Fortunately, no one was harmed in this particular footage, but they could have been. Hippos are truly brutal and dangerous. They can easily kill anyone, anywhere, especially near their habitat, whether it's a body of water or a mud puddle. So my advice to you is to stay away from such places. You never know when a wild hippo might charge at you. Lions. Alright, let's return to the terrifying and frightening predators. You're probably eager to see a massive lion attack someone, aren't you? But I can't show you that footage because it would definitely get taken down. Instead, let me show you something a bit more peaceful, like a huge predator attacking a car. Yes, you heard that right. In this video, you can see a massive lion simply biting down on an ordinary sedan. And I have to point out just how big this cat is. This isn't your typical house pet that might catch a mouse if you're lucky. This lion, I believe, could easily destroy that car in a few seconds if it wanted to, and I don't envy the person inside. Personally, I'd be terrified in that situation. How about you? Do you think you could stay calm in a case like that? By the way, incidents like this happen all the time, especially on safari. I personally wouldn't recommend traveling through Africa in a car that doesn't have windows or doors. You never know when one of these wild cats might decide to attack, and in such a case, there would be no barriers to protect you. Chimpanzee Attack. By the way, I've noticed a bit of a trend today. For some reason, I've been talking mostly about animals that are much bigger than the average person. I think it's pretty obvious that you should avoid encounters with them. But one group of animals many people try to approach, even though they shouldn't, is monkeys. After all, we all think they're cute and smart, and that we can reason with them. We did evolve from monkeys after all, but don't be mistaken. They are still wild animals, and quite dangerous too. Take, for example, a video from a wildlife reserve. Here, a regular man is walking across a lawn with what seems to be a lot of chimpanzees nearby. Suddenly, something snaps in one of their minds, and it decides to attack the man. I'm sure you can imagine, he got quite seriously injured. I don't know how that situation ended, but I'm willing to bet the guy regretted going for that walk in the reserve many times over. Other monkeys. This video seems to be from somewhere in Asia. Here, a man decided to take a dip in the river when wild monkeys started bothering him. They're much smaller than the man, but that didn't stop them from inflicting serious injuries. Just take a look at what this seemingly small and harmless monkey did to an adult man's arm. How is this even possible? It's simple. You probably forgot that monkeys, like other animals, have teeth and sharp claws too. So it's no problem for them to bite off a finger or, as in this video, tear open someone's arm to the point of bleeding. In short, don't approach wild animals, even if they seem small and cute. And I'd like to remind everyone that many dangerous wild animals are kept in captivity. People even keep some of these monkeys as pets. There have been many cases where these cute creatures have attacked their owners and caused serious injuries. So, I suggest you think long and hard before deciding to adopt such an animal. Personally, I'd be happy to pet a monkey at an exhibition, but I would never take one home. Eagle. And to wrap things up, I'd like to show you a video of a rather unusual animal attacking a person. Personally, I've rarely come across clips that show birds attacking people, but I believe they're no less dangerous than tigers and lions. Just take a look at how massive an eagle can be. In this video, a tamed bird attacks an ordinary person. This huge wild bird is genuinely the size of a child, so it's not surprising that it can cause quite serious injuries even to an adult. In fact, wild eagles often attack pets. There have even been cases where these birds tried to harm small children, but despite this, people still keep such animals in captivity, and personally, I don't understand why. What do you think about this? By the way, in this video, the eagle was actually tamed by a person. It was simply taken out for hunting, but something went off plan. Today, I've shown and told you about the most terrifying cases of wild animal attacks on humans. I'd like to emphasize again that you shouldn't even approach predators in the wild, let alone keep them as pets. Comment below which case you found the most horrific. And remember, even professionals who have worked with predators for years regularly get injured and risk their lives. Speaking of professionals, friends, you have the opportunity to join our team. If you have video editing skills, can voice over videos in Russian, English, or other languages, or write interesting scripts, we'd love to work with you. Contact us through the Telegram bot. The link is in the description, and thank you for your attention.